There's a moment in every grower's journey when the garden throws a curveball so baffling, it almost feels personal. You walk out expecting progress, only to find seedlings collapsed like they never stood a chance, leaves speckled with strange blotches, or a plant that seemed unstoppable yesterday, suddenly stalled and sulking today. That sinking feeling is real, but here's the part most gardeners never realize. One of the most powerful rescue tools you'll ever use isn't exotic, expensive, or hard to find. It's sitting quietly in your bathroom. The humble 3% hydrogen peroxide bottle, yes, the same one used to clean cuts, can solve some of the most stubborn garden problems with almost magical effectiveness. And today on Crop Corner, we're breaking down 8 issues hydrogen peroxide handles better than you ever imagined, plus exactly how to use it safely and correctly. The first problem most gardeners face is the one that feels the most defeating, a plant that simply refuses to thrive. It's not dying, but it's not growing either. Maybe it's been stressed, maybe the roots are struggling, or maybe the soil just isn't giving it enough oxygen. Hydrogen peroxide changes the game because of its extra oxygen molecule. When you pour a 1-to-1 mixture of hydrogen peroxide and water into the root zone, 1 cup peroxide mixed with 1 cup water for pots, or 1 quart peroxide mixed with 1 quart water for larger beds. It releases a burst of oxygen that re-energizes the soil. Roots breathe again, nutrient uptake improves, and plants that looked pale or sluggish often show visible improvement within days. It's like giving your plant a deep breath after being starved for air. But sometimes, slow growth isn't the only issue. Sometimes the roots are already in trouble. Root rot is one of the most heartbreaking problems to discover, because it feels like the beginning of the end. When soil stays too wet for too long, oxygen disappears, and, well, harmful bacteria and fungi begin to break the roots down into mush. The good news is that hydrogen peroxide attacks the problem from both angles. It kills the microbes causing the damage while reoxygenating the soil so the roots can recover. Use the same strong 1-to-1 solution, 1 cup peroxide to 1 cup water for containers, or a full gallon and gallon mixture for raised beds, and apply it slowly right at the base of the plant. Just avoid splashing the leaves. When the fizzing begins underground, that's hydrogen peroxide breaking down and delivering fresh oxygen where it's most needed. Plants with early-stage root rot often respond surprisingly well. Every gardener who has ever started seeds indoors knows the pain of damping off disease. One moment your seedlings stand tall and full of promise. The next morning they're bent, collapsed, and dead at the soil line. Hydrogen peroxide is one of the simplest and most effective preventative tools you can use before seeds even sprout. Mix 4 parts water to 1 part hydrogen peroxide. So, for example, 4 cups water to 1 cup peroxide for small batches, or 4 quarts water to 1 quart peroxide for multiple trays. Pour the mixture into the bottom tray and let the dry potting mix wick it upward. This pre-treatment destroys lingering fungal spores and fungus gnat larvae hiding in the medium. The soil becomes oxygen-rich, making it far harder for damping off pathogens to take hold. It's a single step that, honestly, dramatically increases your seed starting success rate. Of course, preventing disease doesn't stop with the soil. Dirty equipment often spreads problems faster than pests ever could. Old trays and pots collect invisible layers of bacteria and fungal spores that jump to your next crop the moment moisture hits. Hydrogen peroxide gives you a clean slate without resorting to harsh chemicals. Mix equal parts peroxide and water, so 1 cup of each for a few trays or 1 quart and 1 quart for larger batches, and spray everything thoroughly. Let the equipment air dry without rinsing. This gives your seeds and seedlings a fresh, safe, disease-free start, and honestly, it's one of the simplest habits that separates thriving growers from struggling ones. Then there's the heartbreak of fungal leaf diseases. Powdery mildew, downy mildew, rust, leaf spot. You name it, hydrogen peroxide can help slow it down or stop it from spreading. A diluted foliar mixture works best to avoid leaf burn. Combine 6 ounces of 3% hydrogen peroxide with 1 gallon of water. Always test it on one leaf first and wait 24 hours. If there's no damage, go ahead and spray the entire plant, coating every leaf surface, especially the undersides where fungal spores love to hide. Remove the worst infected leaves and throw them away. The peroxide won't repair what's already damaged, but it forms a protective barrier that keeps new growth clean and healthy. Weekly applications keep fungal outbreaks under control even during humid seasons. Another overlooked benefit of hydrogen peroxide is how it speeds up germination for slow or stubborn seeds. Some seeds have hard outer coats that delay sprouting, while others are prone to rotting before they ever crack open. A brief soak in undiluted 3% hydrogen peroxide sterilizes the seed surface and softens the coat, giving your seeds a clean, energized start. After soaking, rinse with plain water and plant as usual. This method is especially helpful for seeds that typically struggle in heavy or moist soils. But hydrogen peroxide's usefulness doesn't stop with soil and seedlings. One of the biggest maintenance challenges gardeners face is poor aeration in potting mixes or compacted soils. Over time, organic matter can compress, making it harder for roots to exchange gases. A diluted peroxide watering, 1 tablespoon of 3% hydrogen peroxide mixed into 1 cup of water, is a gentle way to add oxygen back into dense soil without disturbing the plant. This encourages deeper, stronger root growth and helps prevent compaction-related stress. Finally, hydrogen peroxide can help control odors and bacteria in compost systems, especially small indoor or balcony compost setups. A light spray made from equal parts water and peroxide can reduce surface bacteria, discourage maggots, and freshen the compost without harming the decomposition process. It keeps the system balanced and more pleasant to manage, especially in warm seasons. Hydrogen peroxide is one of those rare gardening allies that is cheap, accessible, and extraordinarily effective when used with the right measurements. It rescues roots, protects seedlings, stops disease, boosts germination, enhances soil oxygen, and even cleans your tools. All from a single bottle most gardeners overlook. If you found this guide helpful and want more practical, powerful tips to keep your garden thriving year-round, make sure to subscribe to Crop Corner and share this video with fellow gardeners. Your garden will thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.